Welcome back to the Kat-Chup. I'm here today with Rugby League Guru. Thank you for joining me once again.
How are we, Katmando?
Very good. I'm very good. It was a nice weekend.
How's the weather at the moment?
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say, as soon as the sun is shining, I feel like I'm a different person.
Yeah, it's special stuff at the moment. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's so nice. Well, we're going to be diving into just some of the talking points over the weekend. Not really reviewing any game stuff. That's for bloke to do, and you did 4 hours of that yesterday.
And I'll tell you what, Kat, I cannot wait to talk about something outside of fucking officiating.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for it.
No, and I mean, look, it was a talking point for a reason, but that's not what the Catch-Up is for. The Catch-Up, we're going to be looking at a few talking points, including Josh Schuster's move to Souths, Kyle Feld leaving the Cowboys. I messaged Donnie, the biggest Cowboys fan in Australia, about it, and he said
Fuck that guy.
he said he knew it was coming.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. And Tom Trbojevic taking a pay cut request.
Yeah, wild.
I know, what a guy.
Tommy, but wild.
And then we will end the Catch-Up the best way possible with a Guess Roo.
Ooh, love that.
Yes.
Beautiful.
The crowd favourite, which is the Guess Roo. But I want to start off the episode today looking at the Montoyas podcast. So this is Marcelo Montoya and his wife Taylor Montoya. One of their clips has gone viral over the weekend, and it's a clip where he's asked what's the purpose of cheerleaders at footy games, and she's defending the cheerleaders, saying it's part of the game day entertainment, and then he's having a go. And the clip's just hilarious, so I'm going to play it right now for you.
What's the point of cheerleaders?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm asking.
Dancing?
You can't tell me, right? And I'm not being disrespectful. I want to say this the nicest way possible, right?
So that means it's going to be bad.
When people go and buy tickets to a game, they go to watch the team play, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say on the ticket, here's your ticket to the cheerleading game.
No, but it's part of the game day entertainment.
Shake a few pom-poms, wave your head left to right. Guess what? I don't care. Move off the field so we can run the ball. How about that?
No one cares about you fucking running the ball.
Well, that's where all the fans came.
Also, you're on the wing, bitch. People barely see you. Okay? So, shut up. Guess what? You're one step away from the actual fucking cheerleaders. You're the closest player to becoming a cheerleader on the sideline. So, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, but at least I'm on that side of the line.
No, fuck you and your line. End it here. I'm done. I'm done. You can fuck off.
I love it.
Okay, can we just talk about this? Because I was in hysterics when I saw this.
Yeah, this one got me as well.
Yeah.
This was an absolute cracker. What's her name? Taylor?
Taylor.
She's got something, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of digging, and she is a radio producer in New Zealand, because she's obviously made the move to Auckland with Marcelo because he's playing with the Warriors. But I believe that they met in his Bulldogs days, because I did a bit of research.
Oh, here
and
we
by
go.
research, I mean I scrolled through
Tell me about their Bali holiday in 2009.
I scrolled through her Instagram, and it looks like she was a Bulldogs cheerleader, which is, I think...
Ooh, bit of context.
Yeah, I think that's why he was poking the bear a little bit with this statement that he was making.
That makes a lot more sense.
And it also explains why she was so angry at him.
I love the way she snapped back. I'll tell
Me
you, like the idea for me of, a husband and wife in rugby league doing a podcast, like on the surface, I sort of go, it's not really going to do it for me. But I haven't listened to it yet, but just all the clips I see, they're just two personalities that I find very intriguing. And I think it's always, like, to me, Marcelo Montoya has always just been a winger who's been solid, who scores 45 in Supercoach every week. Like, I've never thought about the personality behind Marcelo Montoya. And he's actually quite a funny dude.
He is funny, but I think they've got a really nice balance, because she's super extroverted.
Yeah.
Clearly. And actually I was looking up the podcast itself, which is called The Montoyas, if you want to check it out. But it's kind of described as he's like this clean freak who just needs everything in his life organized a certain way. And then Taylor thrives off kind of picking on him. And I think it shows what that dynamic is like, and it works. And to your point, not every couple in rugby league, I think, would have the same vibe. But clearly they're onto something. She works in media. She's got a great personality. It works.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't had a heap to do with Montoya, but one of my mates played with him at Canterbury and always spoke about just how much of a champion he was. He's gone over to the Warriors, and all I hear out of the Warriors is how much of a good trainer he is. Apparently he goes wildly hard in their pre-seasons and everything, which you always want to hear. And I actually, when I went over to watch my brother play in New Zealand, what was that? It might have been 10 weeks ago now. It was a while ago when I went to New Zealand. It was a while ago, yeah. Marcelo actually got dropped that week to New South Wales Cup, and New South Wales Cup played straight after Josh. And, you know, you can imagine Marcelo Montoya. I imagine he's played 100+ first grade games, been a first grader for a long time, got dropped to New South Wales Cup, which I thought was a little bit controversial personally. But watching him in the warm-up and in the game, just how much he got around all these guys going. And I think that says a lot about players, that when they get dropped, they walk into that community and they're not kicking stones. They don't have the shits. They just embrace it and they sort of become a bit of an automatic glue in that team, because the other players are so excited to be playing with him. And I always look at the body language of guys when they go back to reserve grade when they get dropped, and I think it says a lot about players. And he was up and about, Marcelo.
Oh, I think it says a lot about someone, the way that they take that, because at the end of the day, it's less than desirable. It is not what you aim.
It sucks.
It would suck.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of a demotion for anyone in a different type of job, and you don't want to be told that you're not fit for the first grade team.
100%.
So the way that you go about it is really important. And that's why, I mean, you've talked about Jackson Hastings and his stint with New South Wales Cup this year, and how he went out there and he was a part of so many crucial plays. And
and I mean,
if you've got to prove yourself, you'll prove yourself.
Exactly. And you even have a look at Jacko. Like, not only has he been dropped to reserve grade, they've put him in the lock. So they're obviously trying to send a message to him. And I love the way that Jackson's just gone back there and been a part of that team. I actually looked at his Instagram story the other day and it said something like 1 or 2 to go or something, or something about making finals. And I was like, it took me a second to realise he was talking about New South Wales Cup, but he was just posting about it as if, no, this is the team I am. It's as important as first grade, which I like to see. And that day that I saw Montoya in New Zealand playing reserve grade in front of, I don't know, maybe 150 people, you can just tell by that he's a good fella. So go and give the podcast a listen.
Go give it a listen.
I'm into it.
The clips are really funny as well.
They're well done.
They are well done. So, go check them out. I think they're worth the hype. And actually, Hello Sport Burmo replied to my story yesterday saying that he had gone through all their clips and he's like, this is one of the funniest things I've seen in ages. It is very good. Genuine good gear. Okay, let's jump into the first kind of talking point of the weekend, and that is Josh Schuster moving to Souths. Now, he signed a 1-year contract with South Sydney Rabbitohs for the 2025 season. This is also amidst Wayne Bennett returning to South Sydney. Off the top, give me your thoughts on this one.
I want to throw to you first. You're a South Sydney fan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Now, I'm incredibly biased in the sense that anything Wayne does, I think, cool, he's got a plan.
Yeah.
I believe that Wayne...
It's not a bad bias to have.
No, but I think Wayne understands the game on a level that I can never comprehend. So when he makes certain signings, I just trust him.
Yep.
But I also have heard a lot of conversation around Josh Schuster this year between yourself and the bloke conversations. And, I do believe that he is currently wasted potential when he's not playing with anyone. And I think there's a lot to be said for management and being with the right team for you.
Yep.
And I think if anyone can bring out what Josh Schuster is capable of, which I think is a lot, it's Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I like the signing because it's Wayne Bennett. As you've sort of alluded to, I think Wayne can get, and you know what? I always think, if you can get the best out of him, Schuster's got so much ability that if you can get 70% out of him, he's a goddamn handy player to have on 300K. And for me, that's the big thing. It's 300K, which obviously is a lot of money standalone. When you go to the NRL salary cap, it really isn't that much. And I just think about it like this, Kat. What is the absolute worst case scenario with this? He comes, he signs a 1-year deal. It doesn't go well. He plays reserve grade. He's on 300K. You let him go.
Yeah.
As far as South Sydney goes and as far as South Sydney fans go, I really don't see the downside to this. The upside, though, is that, do I think he'll be in your starting team? Probably not. Do I think he could be on your bench? I reckon he's a very good sniff. I reckon a jersey 17 for him. The squad that you're building for next year is sensational. I know you're losing Damien Cook, which will hurt, but to still have Cody, to have Ewan Aitken joining, to have Schuster maybe joining sort of on that bench. I really like the squad that you're building. And once again, if Wayne can get just 70% out of him.
Yeah.
And the thing that if I was a South Sydney fan, Kat, the way I would look at it is that Josh Schuster has got all the ability in the world. Everyone knows that. He's gone from 800 or 900K contracts to now 300K lifeline. And the way I'd be looking at it, if I'm another NRL coach in this competition, I'm going, okay, I know there's an exceptionally talented player there. If Wayne can't get the best out of him, I've got no hope. So the way that I'd be looking at if I was South Sydney, I'd be going, okay, Josh, come in, but walking in this door that you don't pull your finger out, you don't play well and you don't perform, you're probably going to have to go to the Super League. And you probably will be the most dominant player in the Super League of all fucking time. But you should be in the NRL and you should be competing with the best of the best. I remember sitting in the preseason of last season, Kat, me and Ken be genuinely having conversations that he could be an Origin Smokey. And people will laugh at that, but he's got that sort of ability. He is so wildly talented. It's crazy, Josh Schuster. And if I'm Josh Schuster from my point of view too, I'm looking at your South Sydney side and I'm going, you know what? Cody Walker's 47 or whatever he is. He'll retire soon. They're going to need a 5'8" in the next 18 months. And if I can establish myself here, I could go from unwanted at Manly, probably considered the most overhyped guy in the league, to being the 5'8" for the South Sydney Rabbitohs with Latrell Mitchell at the back of me. All things considered, he has landed on his feet here, Josh Schuster.
Yeah.
And the ball's in his court now. The thing with Schuster is the hardest thing for a lot of players is getting the talent. He was born with that. It's just the other side of it now that he needs to get right.
Yeah.
So,
well, we were also talking about this offline before, but you mentioned it's a lifeline. He took a $1 million payout from Manly Seagulls after there was a contract extension as well.
Yep.
Like, this is just the back and forth here is insane. And then he's taken a massive cut with this salary too.
Yep.
Also would be completely aware of everything that you're saying, that this is an opportunity to prove yourself. You've only got 1 year to do it.
well, I hope Josh is aware of it.
Yeah.
I really do.
But I guess that's the biggest question.
Yeah,
Does he
exactly.
see it like that too?
Yep.
Is
Yep.
it an opportunity also for him to prove the haters wrong?
Yep.
And I would completely agree. Easily one of the most overhyped players in terms of conversation. Like the vernacular around him has always been very polarizing. It's a love or hate, or, can't believe Manly spent all that money and he did nothing and blah, blah, blah. But I think silence the haters and just do something at South Sydney.
Yeah, and I agree with you, silence the haters, but fuck, do it for yourself, mate. You should be an absolute fucking superstar in this league. And the only thing standing in your way is yourself. That's all it is right now. And I genuinely think he can be successful at South Sydney. I think Wayne can get the best out of him. And hopefully the last few years and the conversations around him, hopefully in 10 years' time we can look back and that's just a distant memory.
Yeah.
Because this kid goes on to have a fantastic career. Because
I hope so.
And it like you got to remember as well, like he played 5'8" the last few years and it didn't really work. It wasn't going too well. Like before that, he was one of the best second rowers in rugby league. Like he's got so much ability to do whatever the hell he wants to do. He just needs to go and do it.
Yeah. Look, I think he couldn't be in better hands. Wayne Bennett is known for reviving players' careers. And I think 2025 will be really, really interesting. And I will absolutely be watching every move with Josh Schuster.
100%. Yeah. He'll be very interesting. I'm so keen to watch how it all plays out for sure.
Me too. Okay, let's move on. So speaking of 2025, there's a player who will no longer be playing with the North Queensland Cowboys in 2025, and that is Kyle Feld. Now, I know he plays a massive role in your draft team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But he's been there for 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years.
I'll be
What are your
honest with
thoughts?
you. This one sort of caught me off guard a little bit. We
Did
finished,
it though, or did you see retirement of some kind?
but it doesn't sound like he's retiring.
No, I think it's a Super League.
A Super League player. Yeah, okay. Which I can understand, but I don't know. I just always and personally I hope it's a Super League move. I don't want to see Kyle Felt in another NRL jersey.
No.
I couldn't. He is just a North Queensland Cowboy through and through. He's had a tremendous career up there. I've been critical of him at many points throughout his career because I just think defensively for a long time he wasn't up to scratch. But I think over the last, especially the back end of his season, back end of his career, he really has improved. The other thing that I was critical of back in the day was just the lack of work he did. He's absolutely flipped that on its head over the last 3 or 4 years. If you, I don't have it in front of me, but if you have a look at his average run meters over the last few years, I reckon they've jumped up maybe 30 or 40 meters per game, which is enormous. Obviously a try scoring freak. I always forget, like when he scored that try in that grand final, that was in the very early parts of his career. Like he actually started that season in reserve grade. Like he wasn't in the first grade team.
That was 2015.
Yeah, which...
And we're in 2024. So
I guess just because he's been such a constant, like that grand final feels like a long time ago, but Kyle Felt scoring that try doesn't, if you know what I mean. Like, but if you ever look like, Kat, we have a thing every year in New South Wales Cup and Queensland. Like you have a state of origin where you're born in Queensland, you play for Queensland and whatnot, but we have a thing called the residents. So what it is they pick a best of New South Wales Cup team and a best of Queensland team. So like, you can be born in New South Wales but play for Queensland residents, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I remember he played in it that year around the origin period. So he was in Queensland Cup halfway through that season, enough to get picked in the rep team. And then he scores, I personally think, a top 3 greatest try of all time.
Wow.
It's probably him, Darren Albert. As far as big moments, it's very, very hard to top. So he had a great grand final, by the way, Kyle Feld. He's remembered for that moment. But he had a one-on-one strip at another point. He came up with a few big plays. So it's been a brilliant career. I think is he the all-time leading North Queensland try scorer now? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yes, I believe so.
So, yeah, an incredible career. And, yeah, I hope he goes to the Super League because – Christ, it'd be weird seeing him in another jersey.
Yeah, no, so he broke Matty Bowen's
he
record.
did he? Yeah.
And he scored when he scored his 131st try.
Yeah, wow. And, probably the greatest honour for Kyle Felt is that he is an integral part of Rancho Relo Maxo looking for a Supercoach draft premiership this season. Hopefully we've got 2 weeks left. He was my pick 17, my last pick of the draft, but he's been sensational.
Well, you wouldn't
for me this
you
year.
wouldn't rank him at 17 though after his performance this season.
He's been a top 10 player for me. He's been unreal. So hopefully him and Drinky can line up a few pies to finish the season. That'd be great. They're actually really interesting, the Cowboys. This week they'll play the Melbourne Storm, and you guys will have team lists by the time this comes out, but I think they're going to rest players. Mm-hmm. Then Manly play the Bulldogs this week. Mm-hmm. And if Bulldogs beat Manly, that kind of locks Bulldogs in for a home final next week. I reckon there's every chance the Bulldogs rest their players against the Cowboys too. So they might actually get to play. They might go by reserve grade Melbourne, reserve grade Canterbury to finish the season, which might get the confidence high, but it's probably not the ideal lead into finals footy.
Interesting.
But we'll see,
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle Felt. Incredible career.
I do. The inside word has been Super League.
League, yeah.
So we'll keep
Makes
an eye
sense.
on that.
Yeah.
It does make sense. We'll keep an eye on that one. Okay. Now, question. You got offered loads of money and you're just making a decent salary. And then let's say you take a bit of time off work and then you come back to work and you just say, you know what, I feel kind of bad about this. I feel like I've taken a bit too much time off for the salary that I'm on. I might give some of it back. Would you do that?
No, but if anyone had done it, I could guess in a heartbeat which family they'd be from.
Yeah.
And I'd get it spot on. This is wild.
I know.
This is absolutely unheard of in world sport. And maybe there's other examples, but like I listen to a lot of podcasts, Kat, around like American sports and stuff, just because I love the storylines around it more than I love the actual games. And mate, the amount of blokes over in America and stuff that are just refusing to show up to training sessions until they get paid more money than what they're on and stuff. And here's Turbo going to his club and saying, hey, I know I've been a little bit injured, which by the way isn't my fault. I'll take a pay. And it's not a haircut.
So for those at home, he's on a $1.1 million annual salary.
As he should be, yeah.
As he should be. And he's offered to take approximately $750,000 pay cut, which is double a lot of people's salaries, if not more, over the next 2 years because of his kind of injury struggles and the time he spent out of the game. The NRL actually rejected the request.
Yeah, which, you know what, I actually agree with the NRL doing that because I do think he's valued at that. But I love this from Tommy Turbo because I think part of it is that Tommy Turbo would obviously feel a little bit guilty for the amount of footy he's missed. But once again, you have a look in world sport.
Don't feel guilty.
Well, yeah. Don't. I can understand him feeling guilty. I get that. But if you have a look in world sport, and I always look at Tom Brady, best quarterback we've ever seen in the NFL was never the highest paid quarterback because he always said, I'll take less so you can go and buy a supporting cast around me that I can win with. And I think, I personally think that'd be a lot of what Tommy Turbo would be thinking. That
thinking there.
Yes, he can be on 1 point whatever million, which would be fantastic. He deserves it 100%. Are you going to win comps with that? I don't think so. I think it's very hard to win premierships like that. You know, I think now that what this will do, and I don't know how much longer DCE is going to play for, but fuck, like it now allows him, if DCE does retire or he moves on, and to go into the market and like imagine going out halfback and saying, hey, you can play with Tommy Turbo. And it just gives you a little bit more money to be able to. Oh, fucking oath. I wouldn't be able to handle it, but I'd say yes. I'd do it for free. So yeah, I love this play by Tommy Turbo, and you see this. As I said, I listen to a lot of like sports podcasts from America and stuff, and like at the moment, it is just a race over in America to see who's going to be the highest paid quarterback, and they're all waiting for each other to sign. So then that sets the bar, so then they can beat it. And then you've got Patrick Mahomes, who's been to 4 of the 5 last Super Bowls, who goes, no, I'll take a haircut. I'll take a haircut. Just to allow them to get other guys. And you have a look at that Manly side at the moment. The back line alone, guys like Saab, he's going to be worth a lot more money soon. Kohler's going to be worth a lot more money. Lehigh Opawata, he'd be on absolute peanuts right now. He's going to be worth a lot more. And then in the full pack, they've just signed Olakau'atu on a long-term. Paseka's staying there. They're building something nice there, the Manly Seagulls, and this will allow them to get one other big piece at some point.
Yeah.
I respect about Tommy. I'll tell you a story about Tommy Turbo, Cat. When I first started my page, and it was Supercoach, I went to say Playbook then, Supercoach Guru back in the day. I remember I came up with this idea to, and it's actually funny looking back at it now. This is before Swish and all those companies existed, where I would just send messages to players and ask them just to do a little to phone video.
Yeah, like a shout out.
Shout out, follow Supercoach Guru for all your Supercoach, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I reckon, and it's funny now, whenever like guys follow me or they send me a message about something, I'll open it and I'll just cringe to death because the conversation above that is normally me asking if they'd be willing to do one of these videos. Anyway, there was one afternoon, I reckon I sent 300 of them to NRL players, and there was 3 players that responded. Corey Waddell, the great Reece Martin, who's over in the Super League, Tommy Turbo.
Wow.
And it was just, I reckon I had 3,000 followers at that point. Tommy went, mate, I'm just at training. I'll be home in about 15. Do you mind if I do it then? And he sent me 2 or 3 versions of it.
No, don't.
Hey guys, Tom Trbojevic here from the Manly Seagulls. Make sure you follow Supercoach Guru for the Supercoach tips in the upcoming year. All the best.
He is and I think if you go on my Instagram page, I think I've got like one of those little circle things that says shout outs or something. If you go, Tommy Turbo's on there, and like once again, not that you needed any more indication of the sort of guy Tommy Turbo is, but it's just another example of the sort of fella he is.
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny in a sense seeing the comments around this story and people saying, oh, great PR stunt. And, you know, I bet his manager thought to do this because it makes him look really good and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Think what you want, but it matches his character.
Yeah.
And that's the authenticity play here for me is if it was any other player, I might think it's a really good move from a manager, but you can also see someone like Tom Trbojevic actually just doing this for the betterment of the team.
He literally spends Sunday mornings down at his local footy club doing the barbecue.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. This is just who he is. He's a good fella. Like, I think that's the world we live in now. When you see stuff like this, you just automatically think it's for clout or whatever, which is fucked.
For sure.
But this is the sort of guy Tommy Turbo is. This is what makes him so great, and the whole family's so great, by the way. So, I love this one. I love that. I'm sure there is a little bit of guilt there, but I think this is a play to try and win a premiership.
Yeah.
And I respect that greatly because...
Me too.
You look back at, you know, before we had the Trbojeviches, we had the Stewarts, Glenn Stewart, Brett Stewart, and these guys always took pay cuts so they could keep this team together. Then it was funny, DCE came along and he refused to take pay cuts, and it caused a huge rift in that team. And now you even look at DCE, he's doing the same now too as he matures, gets later in his career. So I like what Manly are doing. I think it's very eyes up from Tommy.
Definitely. I completely agree. And I think it shows a lot of forward thinking from Tommy and how he's very invested in this team.
Yeah.
For the future.
They want to bring a premiership to Manly. And
absolutely.
Like Turbo could go down as one of the greatest players we've ever seen if he starts to pick up premierships, but he needs to do it
I agree.
sooner rather than later.
And I wouldn't mind seeing it just for Turbo.
Wouldn't mind seeing it. I'd love to see it. I honestly, Manly, their identity has been we all fucking hate you. These Travojeviches
Changed the
have
game.
just flipped the narrative.
Yeah,
How
I
can
know.
you hate them?
It's funny you say that. I had a conversation like that recently with some friends, and we said that no team has changed reputation more than Manly have.
Yeah.
In terms of they, like you said, they used to be the team it was easy to hate.
Yep.
Easy to hate. They were just the default hate team.
Yeah.
But with Tom Travojevic and Gerbo,
Yeah.
come on, what a guy.
Like
What a guy. How could you possibly hate that team?
Yeah.
And you look at the dynamic too, and it just works, and they've got a really nice vibe.
Yeah. And I even see like there used to be a famous sign at their games that always used to be in the crowd that just said, yeah, we hate you too. And I just
Love
always thought
that.
that's unreal. But when I see Manly fans, and they don't do it a lot, but whenever I see Manly fans post stuff like that, we hate you too, I'm just like, that holds no significance to me anymore
No,
because
I
you're
agree.
not that team
That's
any
not
longer.
your DNA.
That's not
as
your
in,
DNA.
You've outgrown it.
Solely because of this family.
Agreed.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is incredible. And I think anyone who's paid attention to the game over the last 5 or so years, you can't deny the role
Yep.
that Turbo and Gerbo, I know there's Burbo as well, but
Yep.
I just want to focus specifically on the 2 older brothers, just what they have done for that team and the reputation. And yeah, it's unreal. And I've explained to you how when I was in a very low point during COVID, it was Tom Travojevic's performances for Manly that, as sappy as it sounds, it gave me something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I was going through a lot in my personal life at that time, and just knowing that I could turn on the footy and watch Tom Travojevic just play the way that he plays brought genuine happiness to my life.
It's probably something I didn't think too deeply about until I spoke to you about it the other day. And thinking back now, when the world was in that stage and there was nothing happening, rugby league was the only thing on, and Tommy Turbo was potentially putting together the greatest season we've ever seen. Like the joy that brought of just watching him every single week, it really was something special.
Yeah, and I know it seems like it was such a serious life
Yep.
period for everybody, and when you reflect on what COVID was like, it was insane. But you needed things to look forward to.
Yep.
And I think that's probably why I feel so fondly about Manly and Tom.
Yep.
Is because of the role that he played for me at that period of time.
Yeah, and even last Thursday night, I was at the Hello Sport Golf Day and whatnot, and Turbo, they lost, obviously.
Yeah.
You were at
I
the
was
game,
at the
weren't you?
game, yeah.
But just there's 26 elite athletes on the field, and there was 150 blokes watching one guy.
Oh, 100%.
Just because of what he's capable of doing. Even watching Beaver Menzies watch Turbo live and him just shaking his head in disbelief of what this guy can do. It's just that's one of the greatest players we've ever seen, Beaver.
That's
and
crazy.
You can just tell the way that he's looking at Tom, just going, I don't know if I've seen something like this before.
That's
Absolute
so cool.
freak.
It's so cool, and it's nice. It's almost done like a full.
Yeah.
It's a full circle moment for me to be sitting here talking about him and then reflecting on a few years ago when life was very different. But it's just the value of these players. That's
Yeah.
so much more than financial. It's emotional.
Yeah, 100%.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's the love of the game. I also want to shout out Corey Waddell because you mentioned
Champion.
he also did that
Yeah.
video for you. But I'm absolutely loving his cooking series.
Yeah, I've heard you talk. I haven't seen a heap of it, if I'm completely honest. But you sent me one the other day that he's a very good fella, Corey Waddell. I'm a big fan.
He's really nice, but he's had some good faces on there so far.
Yeah?
he's had
Okay, sweet.
he had Cooper Johns, he's had Garrick. I don't know if he's had Turbo yet, but I'm sure he will.
sure he will. Yeah.
But no, shout out to Corey Waddell. Nice to hear that he also responded to your video request.
Can we get a Corey Waddell, Jack Bostock collab in the kitchen?
I wonder
I'd like
if
to
they
see that.
know.
They definitely know. They'd have to know.
Yeah, because for those at home, Bostock is also he's got his own kitchen cooking series as well.
Yeah, I think it's Bossy's Cooking.
Bossy's Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing
Bossy's
good things.
Kitchen or
Bossy's
something like
Kitchen,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, we love.
Very good.
Well, that was a really nice talk about Tom Travojevic.
It
I'm always
was, yeah.
here for those.
Always.
Anytime you want to talk about Turbo, I'm here. And I'm sure many people listening or watching right now would agree that he's just that guy. Now, This is the favorite part of the episode.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do your stretches?
I came off a high last week.
You did.
The
That
Michael
was
Witt play was big.
crazy. I'm not over that.
Yeah, nor am I. I enjoyed that one. I definitely enjoyed that one.
feel
Shout out
like-
to Witty.
You've really knocked me for 6 by getting that one.
I spoke to Michael Witt. I actually worked out it was him before he did when he was watching the content.
Are you kidding me?
No. How good's that?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you know, I never thought to do that. Like, just start listing things about you and seeing how long it goes. Okay, well, this guess through is actually a submission. It came from NRL Odd Stats.
Oh, Christ. This is going to be hard.
Yeah, I know. And I would trust them before myself to think of something that you might not actually
I
get.
call this guy Bizarro Rando. You know that Seinfeld episode
Yeah.
where they meet the other ones from Bizarro World? This is Rando's Bizarro. I love it.
That's so funny. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Born in Goulburn.
Yep. Sweet.
Played for 4 clubs between 2007 and 2015.
4 clubs between 2007 and 2015. I've got someone in mind, but I don't think it's them. Give me another clue.
He had no finals appearances.
Okay, it's definitely not him. Goulburn, 2007 to 2015, never played finals. He played for 4 clubs. He never played finals.
Yep.
Wow, okay. Sweet, give me another clue.
The 4 clubs he played for have all won premierships from 2015 onwards.
From 2015 onwards. Okay, so so it's not many. Cowboys, Sharks, Melbourne, Roosters and Penrith. That's it, right? So he played for of those clubs, he played for 4 of them, but he never played finals.
Because he was 07 to 2015.
Ooh, okay. So
So the clubs are
yeah.
Cowboys, Sharks, Penrith, Storm.
Those are the 4 clubs he played for.
Those are the 4 clubs he played for.
Say them again.
You literally said them before.
Yeah, Cowboys,
Sharks, Melbourne, Penrith.
Melbourne, Penrith. Cowboys, Sharks, Melbourne, Penrith. Cowboys, Sharks, Melbourne, Penrith.
That's not the order either.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. 2007, Penrith, Cowboys, Sharks, Melbourne. Okay. Give me another clue.
4 of his teammates were in the last Hall of Fame inductees.
That doesn't help me at all. That's a shit clue, and you know it. NRL odd stats. That's a gap filler.
That's 100%
What
a
a
gap filler.
dog. Okay.
Do you want to make any guesses? Otherwise, I can start throwing off some more clues at you.
I'm actually like I've got a lot of players in mind, but I keep on like I get to one team and I'm like, nah, he didn't play for them. Can you give me or have you got more clues?
I have his information open.
Okay.
We're out of clues provided by NRL Odd Stats.
Okay.
This is me going rogue now.
All
for
right.
you.
Let me have a think because I want to try and have a crack at. So a Melbourne Storm player that played for Penrith and the Cowboys.
I've got a clue for you.
Yeah.
This player made their first grade debut for the Sharks. So that was their first team.
Yeah.
Against the West Tigers.
Okay, so debuted for the Sharks and played for 4 clubs and retired in 2015. Might have stumped me here just quietly. Made his debut for the Sharks. Can you give me like a position or like a back
Yeah.
or a forward maybe?
I can give you a position.
Yeah. He's a
Prop.
prop. Okay. A prop that played for those
Weighing in at 120 kilograms.
clubs, big bit of gear. Okay. I'm really shooting a blank here. Penrith, Cows. So I don't think he played for Melbourne. It's not like a Sikamanu or a Sam McKendry.
No.
No, a prop.
I did make a move to the Super League after playing with the Melbourne Storm, which was my last NRL team.
So left the Melbourne Storm in 2015.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. I am shooting a massive blank here. Never played. How the fuck do you play at Melbourne and not play finals footy? So it must have been a part of the 2010 Melbourne side that got done by the salary cap.
No. He wasn't at Melbourne for very long.
Right. Okay. Christ,
Played-
this is some boring podcasting.
Played 16 games for the Melbourne Storm.
Can you tell me what year he played for Melbourne?
Yep, from 14 to 15.
Right, so they played finals. He just didn't play in those games. Yeah, okay. That's tough. I have got no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
This might
tough.
be the first time you...
Do you know this guy?
No.
No, okay. Oh, that's going to really stump me. So he played for the Panthers, the Melbourne Storm, the Sharks, and the Cowboys. He debuted with the Sharks. He finished with the Melbourne Storm. So he played the middle section of his career with the Panthers and with the Cowboys.
And when I say I don't know him, I mean I know nothing about him, but you'll know the name.
Did you know the name?
I'd heard the name,
You'd
yes,
heard the name.
but
Okay,
more
cool.
so through like niche rugby league conversations.
And he's a forward.
Yes.
He's a prop, you said. Sorry,
Yes.
Ooh.
Do you want my initials?
Yeah. Give me...
I have a really unique name.
Born in Goulburn too. Shit. Have a unique name. What makes your name unique? Like it's
Just not a name that you hear every day.
like a first name that you don't hear every day, or yeah, right, okay. Did I ever play any rep football or anything?
Yes.
What are they
09 to 010. 2009 to 2010.
Sounds so weird when you say
Queensland
O.
residents, but you only played 2 games.
Queensland residents. Oh, funny that came up.
Yeah, I know,
Assume
because you were
spoke
just talking
before.
about it.
And when was that? 09 to 10. Okay, so they were playing for the North Queensland. Oh, it could have been the Melbourne Storm. No, so Cowboys 09 and 10 then likely, I'd say. If we made Queensland residents, or am I out thinking?
09 is correct.
09 is correct? Okay. No, I am really...
Initials DW.
Ah, fuck, I should have got... actually, that's pretty hard. Dane Weston.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
How good is that?
That's very niche. That's very, very niche as the old dog and bone goes off. I like that.
Yeah. Very
Dane
good
Weston.
from you, NRL odd stats.
That's a cracker.
Yeah.
Please send more in. That was tough. Can you take me through Dane Weston's career? Where did he debut?
So he debuted 07 Cronulla Sharks,
Yeah.
as we discussed. Then in 08, he moved to the North Queensland Cowboys, which he stayed at for 2 years. And then in 2011, he took a break. There's an 09 to 2011 here where there was nothing going on.
Was he in Super League or is he just...
No, there's just nothing going on. So I don't know if...
He's probably just playing reserve grade.
Yeah, potentially. Then 2011 to 2012, Penrith Panthers. 2014 to 2015, Melbourne Storm. So again, a period potentially with just playing reserve grade.
Wow.
And then he moved over to the Lee Centurions.
Centurions, yeah, right.
And then he
I
was
think they're
on
now the
loan
Lee
to the-
Leopards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he was on loan to Sheffield Eagles for a single game.
How many games did he play for the Sharkies? Because I have
10.
no recollection. How many?
10.
I have no recollection
Yeah.
of him playing for the Sharkies whatsoever.
Because your rule was what, 50 game minimum?
Yeah, what's he at?
So he did 124. That's including his Super League game.
How many NRL games did he do?
33, 21. So that's 54, 64.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have played more than that, but That was an absolute cracker.
Yeah, it
Very
was
good. I like that. Respect to you, NRL Odds. Make sure you
Mad
go follow him on
respect.
Instagram too.
Yeah.
Doing very good things always. Very similar stuff to Rando, but all very unique. They're not
There's
like
space-
copying each other and whatever.
No.
It's unreal. So if you like Rando, make sure you go follow NRL Odds as well. I talk to him all the time. He's actually been on the Kai Pearce-Paul train with me.
Has he?
Him scoring a try. So
There you go. Speaking of Kai Pearce-Paul, I was meant to bring him up
Old
a bit
Zipper
earlier,
League.
but for those who were watching the Knights South Sydney game, Kai Pearce-Paul went off straight to hospital with what was described as a shark bite.
Yeah.
Because a stud from a teammate slit through his leg. And let me tell you, I did shoot him a DM just to see
Yeah.
how he was going, and I was graced with footage of said shark bite. And let me tell you, it looked exactly like a shark bite.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up, eh?
Kind of gross. But he seemed kind of proud. He's like, look how unreal this is.
Well, you know how like this whole, with me this year, there's been a bit of a thing with Kai Pearce-Paul, him not scoring and me praising him. This is how much he's done me a favour. So I had him in my draft team all year. Then 3 weeks ago, I had to make a hard decision and drop someone. So I let Kai Pearce-Paul go. Another guy picked him up. He killed it. He scored his first try when I didn't have him, and I was heartbroken.
Classic, yeah.
And then I played him in a sudden death final last week, and Kai Pearce-Paul got injured and went off the field for just 10 points. So he's taken care of me this year, KPP. He certainly has. So
I wonder if he sees it like that too.
I think he would be closer to appreciating that than you think he would be. He's that sort of
I
a
don't
guy.
doubt it. He's really gotten around the conversation.
Certainly has.
Yeah,
Lovely
he
fella.
knows that you've been backing him for 24 game weeks before he finally got his
Bloody
first
oath,
try.
yeah. So the AVO says. It's been a big year.
He's
Good
going to
year.
love that we're heading up to Newey next week.
Yeah, shout out to you, Kai. We're coming for you, brother.
Yeah, we are.
I will find you.
Yeah, KPP. All right, well, that's it for the catch-up today.
Very good.
Well, I guess you kind of got the guess through because you got the name right, but
No, I did not get the guess.
Okay, I'm
through.
being too nice.
That's an L. That's
sorry.
a big old
That was
L.
a big old L in the chat.
You got to wear them.
Yeah, this is true. And it's okay. Losses happen.
Yeah, we've got to be better than that, though.
Yeah.
Dame Weston is such a niche one. That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm heaps
It's
into that.
a great one. And thank you to NRL Odd Stats for sending that in. Guys, if you want to send in your own guest through submission, just DM me. I love when they come from you guys because they always hit a little different. And I honestly run out of inspiration. So it's nice to see who you guys are thinking. And I'd say that's one for NRL Odd Stats. They've beaten
Yeah,
you,
1-0.
Guru.
The
1-0.
scoreboard reads. Very
The
good.
scoreboard reads. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.